Good day and welcome to this edition of Saint Sports. My name is Dominic Papa and St. Clair College Athletics being featured here. And of course, it's getting down to the nitty gritty for four sports teams that are ongoing right now. That's volleyball and basketball, both men and women. Today, we're going to feature the men's and women's basketball squads here on Saint Sports. They're actually going to be in action depending on when you're watching this program. They're playing tonight in Lambton, so we're very fortunate and pleased to have both the head coaches joining us before they get on the road and get ready for some basketball. We'll start first with the women. Of course, they are in the very capable hands of head coach Andy Kiss, who joins us. Good day to you, Coach K, and thanks for doing this with us. I know it's a busy day for you, a travel day and a basketball game, so it's going to be a full day for you. And, it's a middle of the week game. It's against Lambton, who's a pretty damn good team. Life just doesn't get any better, does it?
Yeah. Well, I've been a coach for a long time, and I love the preparation for the battle, and as a coach, and we're looking forward to a tough go tonight against a strong team, but we're ready, and let's roll.
Well, let's get right to it, Coach K. Then let's talk about the state of the team and the I guess the work that's being put in on the court, what you're really focusing on, and the direction in which the team's heading down the stretch run here to get into a good playoff spot and get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, we just haven't hit our stride second semester. We just haven't we haven't found that rhythm of whatever it is, the clicking as a team yet this semester, and we're working hard. We know our strengths, and we play to them. Our strengths, obviously, are our trio of solid guards there in Shaylin Murphy, Janae Smith, and Alyssa Lucier. So, Grace Smirk does a stellar job for us, especially at the defensive end. And Lou Overeem is a tremendous role player. But, we're looking forward to tonight's game and for the Real McCoy or Slim Shady to finally show up.
Okay, I like that. I want to talk – you mentioned Janae, and here's a young lady. I think that's really progressed as the season's gone along. Fair to say that, and maybe even fair to say, Coach, that she's one of the more improved players through the campaign?
Absolutely. She came to us from St. Clair County Community College. They call it SC4 over in the Michigan JUCO ranks, and arguably has been second semester our top player. Yeah, and she really was stellar last weekend in our split there. We lost to Conestoga, and then the last time we played, we lost to Conestoga and then defeated Sheridan, and Janae was probably our outstanding player that weekend. She's really come along. I think role-wise on the JUCO team up at Port Huron, she never really was counted upon to be a regular scorer, whereas with us, she has that ability. She's one of those kids on a team. She can score and make her own shot. She has the ability to create her own shot and also score within the system where the shot gets created by screening action or whatever it is you're doing, spacing action. So really come along. We're really happy with the play of Janae, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's been impressive, that's for sure. Of course, Alyssa Lucier, she's been solid all season. But it seems as though Coach, you're the guy that's watching all of this. Teams are obviously really keying on her now, and obviously other players have to pick up some of that slack. How's that working out?
Yeah, I'm sure other teams are like us. Like when we prepare to play a team, I scout, I watch hours of game film, and certainly I'm sure Alyssa's 40-point effort at Humber College really was an eye popper for folks, and so she probably is getting the top defender of our opponent every game now, and defensive game plans are designed to limit her touches and make it difficult for her to score the ball. But to her credit, I mean, she's remained resolute, and it's my job as a coach to find ways to get her activated in the system and get her chances to score the ball. Certainly, other kids, because there's so much attention paid to Alyssa, will have the opportunity to step up and help out. That's a definite truth. So, Alyssa's been stellar all year. I mean, I'm an honest dude, man. She's our best player,
Okay.
and we're just going to keep this thing moving forward. I've talked to the kids about positive vibe, and when you sort of are in a funk or maybe in a little bit of you're just not playing up to par, you just keep moving forward and stay positive and find your way out. And, it's going to be that much sweeter when we find our groove back and get it rocking.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would agree with you that Alicia's been the best player this year. But then you have a player like Shaylin Murphy who could be just as good, maybe even better. Where does she need to, I guess, bring her game up to another level? What is her role at this point, Coach?
Well, Shaylin's had a very good year too. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
You could qualify it as an all-star type year. But I mean, I think when we look at players, we look at everybody and their roles, even kids who don't play a lot, like they're important to a team, their approach to practice, their readiness if called upon. That's very important too. Shay's our point guard and vital player on the team, sets the tone, the proverbial coach on the floor. Shay plays with a ton of heart, and her, Alyssa, and Janae are that guard triumvirate I talk about, upon which this year's system is built around. And but it's not just about them, it's a team, and even kids coming off the bench. Last game against Sheridan, it was Skylar Glover. Skylar Glover, who made a huge contribution in that game. The 2-3 minutes she played there, that stretch when we were down about 5 points, was massive in helping us to victory. So it's a team. Everybody contributes, whatever the role may be, and we got to keep it moving forward.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of big girls, taller girls coming off the bench. Amy Clayton, who just joined up with the team. Of course, she's better known for her softball exploits, but getting that big player inside, how important is that for this team, Coach?
Well, Amy would be situational. If we're playing a team with a lot of size that can punish us on the glass, I mean, when I say size, so I also mean strength inside, and Amy can in that regard. So I see Amy more as being situational, but certainly she can help us. In fact, first semester on the road at Sheridan, Amy made a contribution similar to Skylar Glover, where it was a factor in the game, even though her stats weren't, double figure points or rebounds or anything like that. But important player, just like everybody. I consider we've got 12 kids on this team, 1 to 12. They're all important. They have different roles, and it's a matter of embracing roles and making the team first.
All right, I think I might have lost you quickly there for a second, Coach, but you can hear me okay now?
I can, sir.
Okay, good. I'm just looking at this. I was looking at the schedule before coming on air with you here, and of course tonight in Lambton. But then there's a little bit of a stretch where you're not playing until the following weekend. There's already a lot of time off at the holiday break, and then you had some close, tight games back to back. This is a really tough schedule, Coach. Not because necessarily the opponents are tough enough, but the schedule itself is tough to really, I guess, get into a rhythm, so to speak.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's probably a little bit harder to find a rhythm when you play and then you have a week and a half off for the next opponent. So that's on me as a coach to find ways to make practice interesting in preparing for opponents. After today's game, we don't play till
Next Friday, a week from Friday at home.
Yeah, so it's a 9-day layoff. But that weekend we have Redeemer and Humber back to back. So we're sitting at 6-5, and we're scratching and clawing. For us, I've talked to the kids about playing a home playoff game, and you need to finish one of the top 4 spots. Well, I mean, realistically, spot number 1 is definitely out of reach. 2, we have to get to win tonight, and stars would have to align. 3 and 4 are more realistic, especially if we win tonight. But we want that home playoff that have really been emphasizing that with the kids and how important that is. But, life is life. You got to prove it on the floor.
Yeah, no question about it. In talking to your team during the practice sessions, Coach, you mentioned the playoffs, and grabbing one of those home spots. Do you sense the urgency that's needed from them to perhaps challenge for one of those spots?
Well, that's a good question, actually. I think I'll know about that urgency tonight.
Okay.
Over the years, it's as a coach, you often feel a little bit like a psychologist, but I certainly can't read people's minds. And we've got good veteran players on this team, albeit it's not your typical, like Alyssa is our oldest player, but it's her first year in the program. So it's not your typical veteran who's been in the program 2-3 years and has been around the block and totally understands where everything's going. But, Shaylin Murphy's been with us for 3 years, and Grace has been with us a couple years. So those 3 players, if you will, provide somewhat of a veteran presence for us. Very important. Janae, similarly, is from JUCO in Port Huron. So, she's a veteran, but again, someone who hasn't been in the program for very long. So we have to find our way. We love our team. I love the kids I'm coaching here, and I believe in them. We haven't shot well second semester, and I said to them, that game's coming. There's going to be a game where we just shoot lights out, a lot like Conestoga when we played them at Sportsplex last weekend. They shot 50%, and that's pretty much unheard of, maybe in a professional game, but certainly in an OCAA game, that's crazy incredible to shoot 50% in an OCAA game. So they were dialed in, and that game's coming for us. I'm hoping it's tonight. If not, we'll have to find a way to grind it out tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Hopefully it happens tonight, Coach, and they find that touch. Speaking of tonight, key for the game. I know you maybe alluded to a lot of it in your last response, but how good is Lambton and to find some success there? What's got to happen? What's vital for this team?
Lambton's a good team. They're legit. Their 9-2 record is legit, and what they provide is they have a lot of players that are about 5 foot, 8, 9, 10 with length, which and then Janine Day has done an excellent job with the team. They play a myriad of zone defenses, and they press you, and they use that length very effectively. So with length, you often will soft trap it a little bit more because you're trying to, you want to get the kids to try to pass through your length. So handling that. We've got a game plan for tonight and sticking a game plan and, attacking that strategically like we're set up for. That's going to be important. Defensive wise, sticking again a game plan and what they do tactically. They run sort of set plays, but then they've got Brianna Preddy, who's probably one of the top 3 players in the league, for sure one of the top 5. And she's outstanding. She can create her shot one-on-one. She's got length. She can step through to the basket and finish. Real nice ball play. They have her handle the ball sometimes, and in pressure situations. So she's certainly their best player. Maddie Bishop out of Windsor, she can knock down the 3. So. And again, they've got a nice bench. They've got Claire Deschette, who went to Fanshawe, Emily Van Huft, who is a stealth player. She's very talented and can carry them scoring-wise. And Kayla Wags, a real athletic guard. So it's a good team. But we're a good team, too. And we're looking forward to the game tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Appreciate the time here today, Coach. Again, I know it's a very busy day for you. Safe travels tonight, and hopefully, we come away with a victory there. That'd be really nice. That'd make a nice road trip, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dom.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thanks. That's Coach Andy Kiss of the women's basketball team at St. Clair. Of course, the men will also journey to Lambton College tonight. Again, the men playing very well as of late. Joining us on the show is the co-head coach there, Brendan Segan. Coach Segan, thanks for doing this with us again. I appreciate it. I know it's a busy day for all of the St. Clair athletic people, especially you, the coach, is getting ready for this game. So let's just talk about the team of recent. We were up in North Bay on the weekend for a game with Canadore. Kind of a blowout there, Coach, which, again, no disrespect to Canadore. The program there just not up to what St. Clair is at this point. So that was a win that we kind of expected. But recent games, even the ones at home, pretty exciting stuff. And the team seems to be finding another gear as we get deeper into the season here.
I would agree. I think I've been saying it kind of all year. We have a very veteran team, and it's starting to show now when the games are becoming more important, and basically every game is a playoff game. The guys have come to play, and we started the second semester well. We haven't dropped a game yet, so that's always good to put a streak together. And yeah, like you said, I think just our veteran roster is really showing its strength right now. Guys are ready to play. Guys know what it's like to play at this time of the year, and we're executing and hitting shots on offense, and we're playing really good defense. So we got it all rolling in the right direction right now, and obviously still some games to play here. So we're trying to stay consistent and try to win as many as we can.
If I can pinpoint one veteran for you, Coach Segan, that I think, and again, I'm not a basketball mind like yours, but certainly I get to watch you guys, and I noticed Josiah Deere, who's really seems to have he's always been a very good player, but again, talk about finding another gear or another level. Josiah is really, I think, almost sending a message to the rest of the team. You know, let's do this. Let's get better. Let's show what we can really do here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Josiah's biggest strength is he's an emotional leader. He's vocal. He plays hard on the court all the time, and he's one guy who's been a luxury to coach. He always sacrifices for the team and always wants to do what's best for the team. I mean, me and Coach think, and I think everybody on our team thinks he's a starter on every other team in the province, if not the country. But he sacrifices for us and comes off the bench, and he's really excelled in that role. I mean, he's our leading scorer, if not every night, almost every other night, in a bench role. He's really taken our second unit to a new level, and he's the leader of that unit. So when he's going and we can bring him off the bench and add another level to our scoring, it's tough for teams to beat us. We know with guys like Shaq Price, Jalen Harmon, Chad, Vincent Simon, like, we're going to put up points, but we don't have the drop off. We have that luxury of bringing Josiah off the bench to mix with our second unit. And like you said, he's been playing really, really well. Down the stretch last year, he played really well. In nationals, he was really, really good. He's one of those players who's kind of built for a playoff atmosphere. He can get red hot. He's physical, and he's so emotional. So he could pick a team up if we need him. So yeah, he's been really, really good. And guys feed off of him. He's definitely one of the more the bigger personalities on our team, and he's been great.
Speaking of scoring, Coach Segan, you look at a score sheet, a St. Clair score sheet after a game. Josiah gets his points, no doubt, but there's a pretty good balance. You'll usually find 3 or 4 players in double figures of scoring. How much tougher does that make it for opposing teams to play against St. Clair?
Yeah, I mean, speaking from my own experience coaching, anytime a team can put multiple guys on the court at once that can go for mid-teens to 20s, it makes it difficult. And like you said, we have, I believe, 10 guys who can go for double digits any night. And like you said, we've been spreading it around pretty good. We're not relying on one guy, and that's kind of the team's mentality, and it's kind of what they have preached the second semester, that we're the best team when we play together and use everybody, and don't rely so much on one or two guys to carry us. So there's a lot of trust that's with this roster. They all trust everybody who's in the game and hold everyone to a certain standard. And yeah, like you said, I think it is tough to guard us. We can do a bunch of different stuff. We can go small, adding Glenn Willis-Paris back second semester. We can go bigger with him and Hanani Ujulu. So we have a lot of different options, a lot of different groups of five that we can put out there. Yeah, it's hard to prepare for. I mean, every game is tough to prepare for in this league, but if a team, like I said, can throw multiple looks at you with multiple weapons, it's obviously just harder and harder to prep. So our guys have been really good, and we share the ball. I think we're leading the league in assists, which is a goal of ours every year. And if you move the ball and you got multiple guys who can hit shots, it's tough to beat.
We know the scoring is there, but the emphasis the last couple of weeks, maybe even longer, Coach, has been defense, and it's showing up. Obviously, the games at home the previous weekend before you had to go to Canada, defense was the mandate, so to speak, to emphasize defense. Scoring, we know, is not a problem, but defensively, huge emphasis has been put on that. How has that come along, and what how much more do you need to work in that area to make this team that complete?
Yeah, you're right. It's been definitely a massive emphasis, major point of learning for our team. And I think with anything, especially in the modern age of basketball, a lot of guys are just comfortable scoring points and kind of trading buckets. And it's the teams who can play defense at a high level that will be there at the end. And these guys have really embraced that. And we've made it, like you said, an emphasis to improve on the defensive end of the ball. It's been about 80% of our practice plan is just working on defense, working on different ways to disrupt good offenses, and then just taking pride on defense. And a lot of defense is effort and communication, and those are things that good teams and veteran teams do well. And I think it's taken a little bit of time, probably a little bit longer than we wanted, but it really has started to click the last, 4 or 5 games, second semester starting. And tonight will be a really good test. Lambton has a bunch of guys who could score the ball. They could trade buckets with anybody in the league. So it'll be a good test to see where our defense really is on the road. Tough atmosphere, good scores. So we're looking forward to it, and we really want to see where our defense is. And hopefully it's in a good spot and we can keep improving because sooner or later, one game, we're not going to hit shots. So we're going to need that defense to back us up.
Well, you mentioned Lambton. That's where I was going next, Coach, to get your thoughts on the game. You've already kind of explained it. I appreciate that. But the other thing that's in mind here, I'm sure, not that you put all the emphasis on it, but there's a winning streak right now for the Saints men's basketball team, and nice to be on that streak since coming back after the break. And I'm sure the guys are maybe not front and center, but thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it has been a good streak, and it was something we kind of needed. We were up and down a little bit in the first semester and had a couple little streaks and then a little bump in the road and then another little streak and another loss. So it's been nice to string a few together. And the best part about it is we've been playing well. We probably only played about one quarter of I guess you could say, bad basketball. Our first quarter against Sheridan wasn't very good. But other than that, in 4 games, we played pretty much a good quarter every quarter. So it's something that we're trying to build and trying to be as consistent as we can. And it is nice to have a little streak, and minus us, the next hottest team, if not hotter than us, is Lambton. I think they were 2-6 at one point, and now they're up to 7-6, so they're on a little streak too. And every time we play them, it's a barn burner. It's never easy. So it's fun. And you have maybe the 2 hottest teams in the province in a rivalry game. So we're excited for it. I'm sure they are too, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, Lambton's definitely one of those scrappy teams that plays hard for sure. I remember seeing them earlier this year, and I was really impressed at how hard they work. So it'll be a challenge tonight. Coach, good luck. Appreciate your time here today. We get to see you guys back home next week, so we'll be anxious to have that at the Sportsplex. But until then, let's keep this streak going, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Dom.
All right, that's head coach Brendan Segan of the men's basketball team. The basketball teams obviously have the weekend off after tonight. which I guess, depending on how you look at it, you get some rest. But if you're the men's team, if you're the women's team, you want to play. But they'll have the weekend off. But we do have Saints volleyball this weekend coming up here at the Sportsplex. They'll be at home both Saturday and Sunday. Game times will be at 1 and 3 p.m. on both those days. We'd love you to come out to the Sportsplex, watch some of this great OCAA volleyball action. But if you can't make it, of course, we'll have all the action for you here on We Digital. Justin Prince will have the call for you of both those days and all 4 of those games. So a lot of good stuff coming up this weekend with women's and men's volleyball action. That's it for this edition of the Saints Sports Show. Come back again next week. We'll talk more St. Clair College athletics. Until then, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, everybody.